Hey, what's up, guys? It's MLG, and I would try. I've been trying to vlog more and do more videos and stuff like that, but it's not easy. So now I see. I wanna go back at making an RPG video since it's been a long time. And this week I've seen two videos that got me really interested in coming back, and it's Tim, 13 questions, and Bash's burst of momentum, where he's just back at it and vlogging, just talking shit. So I decided to try to do one of mine, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna answer Tim's 13 questions. And I'm just gonna freestyle it, same OG style. I have the list in front of me here, and they are really good questions. Thank you very much, Tim. These tag videos, they seems to repeat themselves a lot, and this is quite fresh. So let's do this. First question: can you please describe in detail any negative situation that came about in your life because you played RPG? For example, were you bullied, belittled, made fun of, and all that? Not really. Never really that much, because I started RPGing late in my 20s. So I was a grown man, so was not in a situation where intimidation is present. But the worst thing that ever happened is basically that when people, what you do you have a hobby, stuff like that. And when I say role-playing games and gaming and game design and game theory, and every time I talk about game and I get that gamer thing going on, some people, what they do is that they fringe, and they smile. Oh yeah, those I see. And then they have this little smile on their face, kind of thing, and that's all. But the thing is that what's going on in their mind, right? It's that judgment. So I never, I don't make any case of it. I don't really care much, but I see that little expression on on their face, that little smile. That's the worst I've got, and it's not that often, but it's there. Number two: what skills do you think you have personally improved upon? Oops, I'm sorry. What skills do you think you have personally improved upon by playing RPGs? So number two is that I became more analytical with my mind. I became I developed a lot of different kind of cognitive skills according to design. And the playing RPG made me interested in the gaming theory aspect, and that made my my studies, everything I do, my my all the stuff surrounding my career and all that. I became tighter, because learning new set of rules and getting to apply them and mixing that with narration, and it makes your mind work. It makes your mind work a whole lot. It's a good training for the mind. So I would say cognitive skills, learning new rules, and understanding in a more mechanical way. Overall in my life, I got better. Yeah. 3: who introduced you to RPG, and what was your first experience like playing them? So I got introduced by a good friend of mine who I went to school with, named Benoit, and the first experience was dope. We were playing Pathfinder, and I was with some close friend of mine at my place, and it was more of a social thing than a narrative or storytelling experience than anything, because it was about creating character and talking shit and all that. But it was great. This is the first guy who actually introduced me to Burning Wheel later on, which so it's just really important person. What was your first experience like running a game? Exhausting, super exhausting, super stressful, super anxious. I was like prepping for fucking a week, and then getting all that together and thinking about it all the time. And then when the session ended, I was just exhausted. So that, but it went fairly well for what it is. I mean, nowadays looking back at it, I see all kinds of problem, obviously with that kind of style. But overall, I have nothing else to say. It was a great experience. It was Shadowrun 20th anniversary for 4th edition. What was it like designing your own system? I did too, and I am at the beta alpha or beta testing. I don't know the words exactly, but I'm in the playtest so playtesting with your friends. So that's I don't know if it's alpha, probably alpha, maybe beta. I don't know, but it's the playtest part right now, and it's really hard just to find people to playtest because it's already hard to find. It's already hard just to game nowadays. So the systems are done. The whole idea of the creating the whole mechanic, so it's playable right now, and it's just I don't play test it enough to make it something something that much playable. It is playable, but it needs to be play tested more. Now the thing, how it was great. It was an amazing experience. Really, it was a rush of creativity that lasted 6 months, and I did these two really rough engine. The first one is a hack, is a Burning Wheel hack kind of thing. So doesn't count. It's just a practice stuff using playing deck playing card deck. And the second one is of my own, and is it uses d6s, really basic stuff, but it's not it's a mechanic that looks a little bit like Sorcerer from Ron Edward, inspired by. What was it like making your own setting? Never made a setting. These games that I've designed, they were settingless. It was just I was more interested into doing an actual game, not doing a writer experiment or trying to create a world. I was just let's make a game. Let's not focus on anything else. So never did it. Why do you think tabletop RPGs are not known about by a good many people in the public? It's the stigma. It's getting better. It's getting bigger all the time. That's for sure, no doubt about that. But it's the stigma of the past. It's the geekness that comes about it. Because the thing with geeks is that geekness is not sexy. Geekness is not. It has nothing cool about it. You just don't try to make it sounds like geek is cool. Geek is not cool. There's nothing cool about that. It's either you being called some kind of a cheap ass hipster nowadays, or you get called a nerd or a dork or something like that. I don't care what you think. Geek is not cool. It's not sexy. So that's the main reason when you play RPG, when you're a gamer, when you're a geek or a dork or a nerd, you don't appeal to a certain category of person in a certain social standard kind of thing, and you being looked down on kind of thing. The first question of this, the first question I answered was about that. So that's the main reason. That's the main reason. The judgment, I would say. What is an RPG and why are these type of game fun? What is creativity? What is an RPG? An RPG is a storytelling. It's supposed to be a storytelling game where you have freedom to explore character and setting, and it's in a social matter. with people where you get surprised by the outcome of your decisions and stuff like that. So it's really creative. It's really interesting. It's fun. It's like you feel like you're playing your own story. So it is really unique in that sense. Way more powerful than any video game RPG where you don't, where the line is already dictated by the design of the game. And why are they fun? I just answered that. All right, so question nine. If you were going to teach a new player how to play RPG, how would you go about doing that? Wow. I would. I did it with my girlfriend. I used Burning Wheel, which is it was actually a great game to start with because it's quite straightforward. It's not that complicated, but I don't know if I would recommend that one because it's you need some to understand it well to do that. But I would use I think I would go with one of those really light story games, something like I don't know, like Fiasco or maybe Fate or I would maybe use Ubiquity because Ubiquity is quite simple. So I would go with these. I would go with a straightforward, not necessarily a simple system, but a straightforward system the um, where the new player doesn't spend too much time at character creation, where the new player don't have to do too much management on the sheet. I would go with maybe 2 or 3 sessions arc, not just a one shot. One shot is too cheap. Like maybe 2 or 3 session arc, maybe depending on the commitment level possible, maybe 6, just to have an arc to make a character grow a little bit, just to feel this is what it could be if you play like for years, stuff like that. And then so that would be my kind of introduction. And in a comfortable situation like at home or something like that, where the people is comfortable playing with friends in a good environment, and I would make it really light at the beginning, but still meaningful. All right, so question 10. What age group do you think plays these games? I think the people that play these games the most are from 20 to 40, between 20 and 40s. Because of the story of the genre of the game, like people, maybe some people in their 50s still are playing, but as you get older, you get lazier and you get slower in the mind and shit, and you don't learn new games and you have problem learning new stuff. So from 20 to 40s, this is the range, I would say. In the 20s because you have time, in the 40s because you have money and you start to get back into having more time, and have children as well, so you want to play with your kids and shit. Question 11. What overall benefit do you think a person that plays RPG has that perhaps a non-gamer wouldn't have or would have less of? Imagination, like I said, cognitive skills, really, really tight. Like, what I've noticed is people that play RPGs, they're a good reader, they have imagination, they learn fast. So that's the advantage that you get from people that play RPG. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to be elitist or mean and all that, but there's a lot of people that play RPGs I mean, they've learned one game and they stick with it and they don't learn any other game and shit, so they don't fall into that category. But the ones that are actually interested in games and they read different games and they learn different games, they would have a lot of imagination and reading skills and learning new rules, skills, and also narrative use of narrative with language skills. So that's the advantage, I would say, that they would have over other people. Have you ever seen an RPG session break out in any violence, or have you ever seen with your own eyes people becoming more violent after playing it? No. No, I know it exists, but it never happened to me. 13. Do you think RPG are still seen as much as a negative thing as they once were? No, they're less. But like I said, they're they're not they are being more and more accepted. That's for sure, because there's more of them and there's more exposure with video games and all that. But I mean, they still not. It's not a sexy thing. It's not a cool thing like that. Like I don't know, man. There's stuff out there when you're an athlete. You're dope. You're cool. You know, when you are an actor, a singer, an artist, you know, you're cool. People are draw upon you. But when you say I'm an RPG player, you're just a dork, man. You're just a geek. So that's the negative thing, I would say. It's just that, okay, so you like playing fantasies, right? You like embodying stuff that doesn't exist and play with magic and fake guns and all kinds of fantasy stuff. So it keeps that stigma, at least in my circles, in my surrounding. So I would say that's the most negative thing that comes about it. Now, it's obvious that we can. I don't want to start a war. You can hate me all all you want on that channel. I'm just being real. But the thing is that you can say how you want that it's cool to be a geek, but that's just denial. You know, because it is not. It is the negative aspect, I think, that lingers today. It's not about the demonic possession and all kind of stuff that was going on in the 70s, or like devil worship and shit. It's not about that. It's about enjoying being a geek. You know, it's about enjoying being a nerd, and which I am. I am a geek. You know, I love this stuff. So I know what it is. I know how it feels like, and I understand. I see it. I see it, and I think that's what lingers, and that's gonna be there, man, for forever. Because the thing is that it's against people who are down to earth. You know, the people who like I have my career, I want to get my job, I want to build a family, I want to buy a house, I want to get into the system, I want to, you know, down to earth people, pragmatic people. So some of these people, they are against imagination. Like when you have imagination, it's like you're not gonna put food on the table, kind of thing. Anyway, so that's what I have to say. So thank you very much, Tim Harper, for the 13 questions. It was a pleasure to do. I see you guys around.